we assemble here today to witness a potential future for which kind. Meeting both requirements and approval, we raise one of our brightest and determined students to the title of aspirant. They have taken the oaths, proven studious, brave, and true, and thus been granted permission to start their own school in their name.
Yeah.
Aspirant Aldair Awolfa. Yes, Headmaster Alvest? Soon we shall be colleagues. I look forward to that day. Thank you, Headmaster. You know the spell we are to cast, the scale, scope, and limitations. For those present, for those who scry, for a record as etched in stone, state the spell and verbally commit to its casting. The spell will take me to lands neither tread nor shaped by which kind. It will tax me in all aspects, and in many ways require me to build myself up from scratch. Likewise, limited will be that which I can carry. Only the things best suited for the fledgling. My broom, my wand, my hat, I leave behind. I will face a trial beyond the chosen path of building a school, for such magics often draw us where we are needed, though the trial remains to be seen. I accept these parameters with a steady heart, a quiet mind, and fire in my eyes. Then go forth, aspirant, to build a bridge that others might cross.
Hello and hi everyone, my name is Wolf and welcome back to Minecraft. Today we're starting a brand new series on the channel in the Cottage Witch mod pack, which, as you might expect, a little bit cottage, a little bit witch, and a whole bunch of stuff in between. As you saw from the opening cutscene, there's a little bit of a meta-narrative because this is not my first time playing the Cottage Witch mod pack. It's actually been following the development of it for a little over a year now, and I'm very excited to be jumping back in because a lot has changed. But considering this not my first time, I thought, let's do this little bit of a story where I am a witch aspirant looking to start their own school for witches to kind of help pass on some knowledge, some tips and tricks and things of that nature, which I'm hoping to be very exciting for. And I kind of want to show you how we start off in the world, because as you can see behind me, I started off about 1,000 blocks over there with nothing to my name, as you do in a brand new world. But I kind of want to go through the starting tools, the starting pieces of kit that you get, and show you their power, what they can do for you. So let's jump into the theater of the mind, you know, a creative testing world, and show you everything there is to know about the items that you spawn with when you start the Cottage Witch playthrough. Welcome to the emptiness that is my mind. Don't worry though, I will be filling it up over time. It won't stay this way forever, but I thought this space would be good for just explaining the basic items that you start off with when you come into a Cottage Witch world for the very first time. Every one of them is critical, super useful, and very helpful. Cottage Witch is one of the kindest mod packs, giving you all the kit and items that you need to get off on the right foot. The first thing I want to talk about is the Caster Tome. The Caster Tome is from the Ars Nouveau School of Magic, which as an aside, I thought it'd be really cute if we referred to mods as schools of magic, since this is a whole series about witches and learning how to do magic and being in magic school and all that. So when I say the Ars Nouveau School of Magic, what I really mean to say is Ars Nouveau, the mod. In any case, the Caster Tome is the first item that you're given, and it is one of the most useful. As you can see, when you hold it in your hands, you have a mana bar. This is your capacity for spell casting, and this book already comes pre-inscribed with a spell. It has 3 glyphs on it. When you look at it here, you can see projectile, accelerate, and break, and those are the runes here, or glyphs right here behind me. Each one of them has an association with what they do in the spell. So as you can see, the projectile, which is the first one, and the purple one there, is an arrow. It is the shape of the spell. It is how it looks and functions. Next, you have accelerate, which just increases the alacrity, or the speed in which the spell travels through the air, and break, which it has an iron pick to represent it because it breaks blocks when the projectile comes into contact with them. And it has the strength of iron itself. So this book here can actually be your entirety of your tools if you want it to be. You can use it to break wood, you can use it to break stone, meaning that you won't have to make wooden tools, skipping the entire part of the progression. You can break iron, gold blocks that you happen to find, over nether portals. Now you can actually collect them as soon as you see them, which is super nice, and even diamond. So with all of that, you can completely get all the way through the tool progression without even having to make any tools prior to it. But as you can see, you run out of mana very quickly. As you can see, I'm completely depleted now. So using this, even if it regenerates quickly, isn't a very viable method for being the only tool that you utilize. And since it only has the strength of iron, the reason I use obsidian on this back wall is because it is completely ineffective against this, at least for now. There are ways of increasing the spell's power, but we'll discuss that at a later time. The next thing I want to cover is the flint knife. The flint knife can be used as a weapon, though it is a very poor weapon, but against neutral mobs it works really well, which increases your drop rates of items. It can also be used, because it's from Farmer's Delight, to cut up items on a cutting board or things of that nature. So there's a couple things that you can get a hold of very easily that way. But beyond all of that, the main use for it, I feel like, is to get straw. So when you come across grass like this, you can actually break it, and every so often you'll get a piece of straw. And you can vein miner this, by the way. It doesn't even have any durability on it, which is very nice. Straw is extremely useful as an early game item. You can use it to craft a lead right away, which is very useful for getting a hold of animals. You can use it to get rope. And rope itself is very useful because, of course, obviously you can ascend and descend with it. But if we break this rope here, you can use it to climb down off of surfaces very easily, which, you know, we water bucket clutch if we wanted to as well. But this is a nice alternative, especially in the nether. From here, then, you can use 4 straw to make canvas, and canvas can be used in a recipe to make books. So it's an alternative to having to slaughter a bunch of cows, another way of just getting a hold of books. And you're going to need some books for either your enchanting setup or for various other things that you might need for all of your witchy activities, whatever they might be. And then also, the last thing, the rope that you can make from straw can be used to make a day 1 saddle, which is immensely useful to have a saddle available day 1 to be able to get around and move around in the world, because we all know how painful travel is when you first come into a new Minecraft world. We'll cover the quest book in the actual world itself. There was no reason to cover it just here. And then a nut butter and jam sandwich. You get 5 of them to start off with. And as I say, kindness and everything. Having this right away as a food source makes your life a lot easier, especially for getting a little bit of travel or early game exploration done. Now, I cannot prove anything. Okay, I cannot confirm nor deny, but I believe in my research that this might be connected to the legendary sandwich. Can't prove it, but maybe it could be. You never know. Anything could be a reference. Now that we're no longer in the theater of the mind, let's discuss the quest book. The quest book is one of the best parts of Cottage Witch, in my opinion. I really love the aesthetic and the look of it. We won't go over the entirety of the quest book, but the artwork in it is absolutely gorgeous. It has to be said. We're going to be focusing on the beginning section, though, and primarily looking here at the freebies. Now, I've went ahead and accepted a few of these freebies. The first thing I want to talk about is the mushroom hat, because, as you can see, the mushroom hat is absolutely adorable. It's just a retextured pumpkin, but I mean, it suits me, right? It's nice. It's cute. It fits the skin very well. It's not the same shade of red, but we do love big poofy hats around here. All us witches do love the big hats, so absolutely love this one. And the next thing I want to talk about is the slime transport tools. Now, the slime transport is not my favorite method of travel, but I do have a penchant for the slime boots and probably wear them a lot longer than I should in a typical playthrough, because they prevent fall damage of, well, completely. Absolutely. Whoops. Can I get through here? I can. Whee! So as you can see, as it says on the tin, they completely prevent fall damage. If you hold shift, then you will actually take damage. So be careful when using these. And then the slime sling itself can be used to propel you backward. Oh, a little hard to control in third person, but you'll give it another shot. Can we do it? No, we cannot. But this is a very viable method of travel if that is your thing. I'm going to be switching to a different method as soon as I have a chance to, because it's a little disorienting, a little bit difficult to control. But you do get some momentum, you do get some speed if you want to bunny hop across the world. Perfectly viable option. Now, typically in an episode 1 at the beginning of a series, the very first thing that you have to do is get a starter house in order, whether that's taking over a structure that's already existing, like I have with this village here, or building your own little home. But I think we're going to be taking advantage of something Cottage Witch offers us, which is the prefab, as you can see here in my inventory. Under freebies, it is one of the quests that give you a free starter house. This magic item can be used to create a house instantaneously. So when you right click it on an empty space, you can see a bunch of different styles. But these magic items also can be enhanced in a bunch of other ways, whether bulldozing land so that you can have a nice clean space to work with, or a bunch of different types of other structures that you can create. I want to go ahead and upgrade this thing, but in order to do that, I'm going to need some materials because I basically have nothing to my name. So I'm going to go on a little mining excursion. I will save you the pain of mining at the very beginning of the world, but yeah, I'll come back in once I've gotten a few basic materials and we will look at what our options are. We interrupt your current broadcast to bring you a special news report. We go live into the studio now with Aldair Wolfa. This is Aldair Wolfa with Mine Action News. Reports are coming in that ores are not dropping their appropriate drops. We go live into the field now with Aldair Wolfa with this investigative report. Aldair? Thanks, Wolfa. This is Aldair Wolfa reporting live from deep within the mines with a local excavator who says the drops are dropping exactly what they're supposed to. Local excavator, can you introduce yourself to the audience? My name's Wolfa. Wolfa, that's a rather unique name. Thank you, thank you. So Wolfa, when I look at this block here, I see deep slate redstone ore, but when I mine it, you get cinnabar. But sure enough, it's always dropped. But that's not redstone, is it? No, it ain't. But all you got to do is walk over to a grindstone and grind it up a little bit and you'll get redstone. I see. Are there any other ores that work in this manner? Sure enough, there is. This lapis block over here, this emerald ore over here, and even diamonds. So you can't break diamonds down and grind a regular grindstone. You can't, so that means you can't get diamonds at all. No, of course you can get diamonds. You get your first one, you break down your rough diamond into some pieces, you make yourself a diamond grindstone like we got right over here, and you use that to polish any future diamonds that you happen to be mining up. Oh, I see, so you can still get diamonds, you just have to kind of sacrifice your first one to make sure that you can get more. That's how it's always been. Well, folks, it seems that the scare of the items not dropping out of the appropriate ores was incorrect. We go back to you now live to your regularly scheduled Minecraft program. Hopefully you can forgive me for having a little fun with that last clip. That was just my way of kind of saying, hey, spelunkery's in this pack. Spelunkery kind of changes the way that ores work, exactly like the clip hopefully explained very well, where you have things like rough cinnabar, which you can grind down and get redstone for, as well as cinnabar pieces. And with that, I was able to make a few clocks so we can get the improved house prefab and get that all done. So now we can get excited for popping down the house of our dreams. So I got the idea to use this starter house as the house of our dreams, quote unquote, because I was watching another Minecraft YouTuber play through the Cottage Witch mod pack, Firepower. I'll go ahead and link them in the description down below. Who was doing a very chill, discovering it for the very first time, and you know, I have never actually used these houses before. I've only used these as like a little bit of a temporary tower startup at the very beginning and then swiftly ignore it and go on to build my own house or do something like that, which is going to be the plan here. But I figured, you know, I saw the level 2, I saw what he picked, and I was like, oh, I want that for my next playthrough. I want that to be the house I choose. So that's what we're going to go with today. I cleared out some space here in front of us, and let's go ahead and pop this down. We want to make sure we have enough space, because I don't want this to be how I get up there all the time. Gonna build a proper staircase at some point. Maybe that, hopefully that's enough. This is the house that we're gonna go with right here, which as you can see is massive for a level 2. I think this is one of the largest level 2s. But yeah, we're going to accept. Oops, build. Oh, look at this place. This is so gorgeous. Wait, this is just, yep, little fence and all that. And I broke some other blocks around. I tried to clear out as much space as I could. Of course, I didn't succeed completely. But that's okay. I am very excited to be living in a place like this to get started. It closes it for us. And we're going to come in through here. And we can see we have plenty of space to work with. Lots of utilities. The texture packs in this, by the way. Oops. Texture packs like these right here, the ovens, the smokers. Oh, so good. Love it. And yeah, I didn't actually look at the inside of the house too much, just kind of, you know, browsing through things. Yeah, this is gorgeous. This will work. Got plenty of storage space, at least the beginning, and a mine shaft down at the bottom as well. This will do perfectly. Now, as cute as the aesthetics are, we didn't actually build this house, so, you know, kind of want to put our own personal spin on it if we get the opportunity. So I think what we're going to do as our beginning episode 1, as our beginning project, is actually go gather more materials so that we can decorate this house to be our home rather than just some arbitrary home. There's plenty of mods in here that allow us to do just that. If we look at Cluttered is one of them, Handcrafted is another one. There is lots, and I mean lots of gorgeous furniture mods in this pack that's going to help us decorate this entire space and make it our own. But unfortunately, we're going to need a few more materials in order to do that. Specifically, you're going to need wool, and I'm going to have to go wrangle up some sheep. But we're going to take my own advice and get some leads made from straw, because I've got plenty of straw to work with. And yeah, we're going to go find some sheepies and maybe get up a little pen. Instead of, since I don't really need a farm yet, I'm wondering if we transform this space actually into a pen. I don't think they can climb out of any of this, so it should be good. Yeah, I think this will work just fine. Look, the ground's already turning back. I don't know why that happened. The ground's already turning back for us. I gotta get used to pressure plates. I gotta get used to it. Are you ready for a terrible joke? Because I got a terrible joke in mind as I started crafting these up to get the sheep. I guess you could say that I am leading by example. I am not sorry for that. Sheep 1, sheep 2, there's a couple more sheep, but I've only got the 2 leads, so we'll start off with you 2. Sheep acquired, but the sun is going down, so I guess we're spending our first night in our brand new house. The things we do without silk touch, and I don't want to make holes that the sheep might possibly... Huh? We're fixing that. Don't you do it. You know, I trusted you, and I shouldn't have. I learned my lesson. Okay, so there was a barrel over there they were trying to escape out of, but we went ahead and changed all of the farmland into grass. I put a couple fences down so that way they can't eat this grass, and hopefully it'll spread a bit. And there was actually a patch down here below, so letting that crawl up and just fill this whole space before I start shearing them, so we can make some furniture items, because we're going to want some cushions. We're going to want some nice comfy things in their wool. Looks very comfy, and it'll work just fine. Gotta get some dyes and dye them up a little bit too. Got rid of the button because I don't want them escaping. No escaping. And yes, now we're going to get to moving on to the decoration for it. And I figured we do a little cut. Before and after. Before and after. So here, just one more walkthrough so that way you don't have to go back through the video and see what it's like. Got a very plain Jane. I don't think we actually went to the attic. Plain J aesthetic. Oh, that actually is so nice already. Like, I have plenty of books, I believe. You know, the Hexarai Village and all that. But, wow, this is great. And, wonder if there's a way if I can preserve the cobwebs. I don't have silk touch yet. Oh, with shears. Oh, you're gonna need shears anyway. That's perfect. So we're clearing that up, make it all look pretty. And then we're gonna come downstairs here, and we're gonna do a before and after, as I said. So we're gonna stand over here. We're gonna think to ourselves. We're gonna visualize. We're gonna think about magic. We're gonna think about power. Not really actual power. But we're gonna think about magical things. We're gonna use our thoughts to transform this place into a decorative build by staring at the door. And that's it. So we open the door, and as you can see, it's decorated. And I've got a few of me's running around here so you can visualize what's going on. A little seating area where we can have a couple of drinks and have some food. A little working kitchen there where we can do our cutting, as well as do a little bit of cooking and so on and so forth. I think it's really cute. We'll let the me's dissolve here in just a minute. And poof, just like that, they gone. So, from, what was it, Cluttered? Yes, Cluttered, we use this right here to create a little grandfather clock. The top does stick out a little bit. This is from Supplementaries, as you can see there with Jade, I believe. Or here's what you're looking at, you know, the mod equivalent up there at the top. But, you know, I like the way this looks. You don't really, unless you're really paying attention, it doesn't really stick out that much. From this angle, it looks fantastic. Couple of seats here as well, and then fantasy furniture for most of the sundries. I think actually all the sundries except for Hexaray here for the candelabra. We have a couple paintings here on the other side. Macaw's windows here, so we can actually open and close this one. And then over here we have the yellow cabinets, which I was thinking to myself, you know, these may not actually work all that well. But let me get rid of this clutter that the me's left behind. These are the items that they got from the illusionary me's. I need to toss those things out. We're not using those. But we have right here yellow cabinets, and I again was worried about the color, but you know what? It gives a little bit of a pop, a little bit of an accent. I like it. Some jars up here for some of the various spices and things we might use, and then all of the cooking stations that we're going to need for food. So we've got a cooking pot, we've got a pan for searing, We've got tea kettle here for whatever teas that we might brew. We've even gone ahead and organized all the food items, which isn't much to begin with. I have the knife in there because the knees were using it up. I have the sort of jam jars here just for a little decoration. Capona set up here. Still not 1,000% sure on how to use Capona, but we'll learn together. A cute little shelf with a tiny little plant. And again, some more windows to look out. This one here doesn't actually open. It's actually too tall, but I kind of wanted this extra cabinet here because I like the way that this bookends around. And then, of course, a little vent hood. Oh, yeah, and some hanging herbs up here because I thought that was kind of cute as well. The hexerite herbs are so expensive in the early game. We'll talk about hexerite next time, though. We're not going to talk about that now. And then upstairs, I actually did nothing, but I'll just show you that I did nothing because I'm not really sure what to do with the space. But I know what I did do is down here in the basement, I had to, of course, make it a lot more decorative. Well, not really decorative. More utilitarian. The space was not nearly big enough, especially for a modded playthrough, so I went and expanded it a little bit. Let's take a look downstairs. Oh, and oops, the door. So probably having too much fun with the mocap mod, with the illusion mods, quote unquote, but you can see me here organizing everything, putting everything away. I don't have any nether quartz for a drawer controller, but these are actually the smart barrels from Sophisticated Storage, so I'm planning on putting a drawer control in here and keeping this all completely organized. And then over here, we have our little crafting setup here. As you can see, I'm currently diligently working away at crafting everything. Again, we're going to dispel the illusion that keeps these two functioning, and we're going to discuss, well, kind of show something off here. And just like that, they're gone again. So, the one thing I wanted to show off, because I mean, this is all very self-explanatory, is behind this wall. Oop, missed the spot, that's fine. So, big, empty, ugly room with a hole in the ceiling to the sky. I wonder what this could be. Well, next episode, you'll see what this is for. But for now, let's see, what piece was there? This was there, and these were here. That will be for us later. And that's actually going to do it for episode 1. I tried to keep the mod talk a little light because I didn't really want to overflood with information. I know we didn't really tackle or maybe address too much in terms of mods, but we're going to get there slowly but surely. Like I say, I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of technical terminology, especially if you're not familiar with any of these things. But I am very excited for the next episode because we're going to be tackling our first mod, and I'm in desperate need of it. I absolutely need it because it was a struggle to even get this far along. I am completely out of iron. I did have enough wool, thankfully, with all the sheep. Oh, I didn't show you the sheep. Let's do that real quick. Got the sheepies of all various colors here. Didn't end up using all of them, but you know what? It's nice. It's definitely they're going to be in the future. I'm definitely going to have more plans for it. But dyes are a big problem right now, and the next mod's not going to help with that too much. But more progression is definitely going to make it easier in the long run. So for now, this is Wolpa saying goodbye.
You know the spell we are to cast, and so do I. Full on commitment's what I'm thinking of. That means I don't have to apologize.